Okay, so today we're going to be editing and retouching a photo post-session on our computer. So let me walk you guys through what we're going to be doing. So we're going to be using Evoto today. Evoto is one of my favorite editing tools. Back in the day, I was strictly a Photoshop user and Lightroom, but recently Evoto has really changed the landscape of how we operate here in the studio. And I'm at Elaine's workstation working at her desk because most of the stuff that I want to show today is already backed up on her computer, so I figured it'd just be easier to do it here. So the first thing that I noticed when I'm looking at this is obviously the team was a little too big for the background. So the first thing I'm going to work on is just overall just color and exposure. And I feel like for the most part we kind of nailed it. The camera's a little bit crooked. I can fix that as well, but I'll start with just my exposure and just brighten up a little bit. I'm gonna move up my shadows just a hair. Okay, and then my highlights seem like they're a little bit much. I can see it right here on number 10, little Jameson. Okay, you can start to see this is shaping up real nice. Now, the thing that I love about Evoto as well is you can click this masking button and you can drill down just the single players if you want to start editing them. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab my whole team, all my subjects. When you can see the little circle around it, that means that's the one that you're working on. So I'm gonna go with everybody and I'm gonna boost up their shadows just a bit. You can see how it's boosting it up, and I'm gonna throw my blacks down just a hair. Okay, that gives me a little punch of like contrast, kinda. It might seem like I'm undoing and redoing, but trust me, it works. Okay, and then I'm gonna move my exposure of them up just a hair, and I'm gonna bring the highlights down just on them so I can get their skin tones back. I feel like white balance wise, this image is shot perfectly. There's no sense in me messing with that. I'm gonna mess around with the brightness just a tad. I don't really need to, but I did. Give me a little bit of whites, not too much. And then I could do a little clarity, but I shot with I think my wife shot this image with the Canon R6. So it should be pretty sharp. We can zoom in and look and see. It's tack sharp. So there's no need for me to even put anything else in it. Now I do want to work on the background a little bit because I want it to be white. Obviously I want a high key background. So I'm just gonna kind of push it just a hair, just like that. Now I'm feeling like Buddy over here is kind of dark. So I'm gonna actually go back to my person one. I'm gonna find a little Buddy on the edge right here, and I'm just gonna push him up just a hair, just like that. And then I'm gonna bring his shadows up. You can kind of see how it's hitting him. And then I'm gonna bring the whites up on him. Yeah, you can see how. And then this is where we started. This is where we're at so far. So you can already see it doesn't look like we made too many adjustments, but we've made several adjustments already. So I feel like from an editing perspective, this photo is pretty much done. Now I want to move into retouching. So retouching is this little man right here, this little head. The first thing that I'm looking at is on them, they're kids. They pretty much don't have much skin problems. So what I will do is I'm going to sync this real quick, the edit that I made. And that's all I do right here is I just sync. Because I hadn't done anything else, so I can just sync it right now. Now when I look at this one, you can see before, after, and then before, after. Now the settings didn't change at all, that's why it's working so easily. But normally it might be a little bit rougher to get this done if you're shooting outside or something like that and the light changed dramatically. So I'm going to start grabbing, just start doing some of the normal stuff that I would do in an image like this. So I'm gonna start with the double chins just to help out people with double chins. And nobody really has bad double chins, but the double chin works good because it just kind of like puts some shadow under the chin. None of the coaches have beards, so we're good on that. Eye bags, I can reduce that a little bit. Let's see if Coach had some eye bags. Nope. I can leave it where it's at. It didn't affect anything. I'm gonna look at circles under the eyes. Maybe some people didn't get sleep. Okay, and then neck wrinkles, I'll go ahead and take that out because you don't need neck wrinkles if you don't have to have them. I try not to edit so much to where they look like a different human being, but I edit enough to enhance what's going on, if that makes sense. Okay, skin, you can mess with that if you like. I don't think we'll need to. You can see it didn't really do much, so we're not even gonna touch that one. There's no reason to. That frequency separation, we're gonna need to do that today. And then what I wanna roll down to is this eyeglass glare, because if you look at Coach, he's got a little bit of glare here. And this software is pretty incredible for eyeglass glare. Like, only other software I've used with eyeglass glare removal has been Skylab's, and Skylab's kind of does it for you. I like this one because I can go in and adjust it and season it to taste like I like it. When you do it on Skylab, they just kind of knock it out for you. Okay, so we're gonna go find, I can never find it though. Let me see. It is, I think I passed it up. 222. Okay, it's not this one. Not that one. Maybe it's this one. Oh yeah, here we go. Eyeglass glare. I think they moved it. I say that every time. So I will watch as Coach's eyeglasses go away. So you can see the glare has just totally removed. And all it was just that slider. I'm gonna show you before or after. It used to take so long to do that in Photoshop, and now it's just literally one button click and you like nailed it. Okay, so I'm gonna zoom out. I see we got little marks on our face too when I zoomed in, so I'm gonna go back up to the blemish remove tool and I'm gonna push it about halfway. And then I don't like to mess with people's freckles. So I'm using this guy right here for freckles to see if it's like taking them out, and his freckles are staying. It probably can't register that he's human because his eyes are closed, but it knows. Okay, I like the way this is coming out, so this looks pretty good. Next thing I'm gonna do is come to this cropping tool. Oh, we could go and de-wrinkle their clothes. Their clothes aren't that wrinkled, but watch, I'll show you. You can see how their clothes, how the wrinkles have disappeared somewhat. See how they got these wrinkles up here? When you do the de-wrinkle, it takes a lot of it out. Now you have to be careful with it, because if you're doing it with females, sometimes it just makes them look like a parachute. But for this instance, it worked out great. It just kind of removed a little bit of wrinkles. And you can see I'm pushing this thing all the way to 100. I typically go to 100 and then I dial it back, but for this instance, it didn't need to be dialed back. Okay, now let me go back to my cropping, which that's what I was doing. And I'm noticing that this picture is kind of crooked. You can see the background is kind of crooked as well. And it's a white background, so it doesn't matter too much, but I'm gonna show you how I fix it. So what I normally like to do is I'll go with original, and then I'll just take the angle and I'll try to line up. I'm lining up the chairs because I know everybody's sitting square on a chair, right? So I'm gonna line it up using the chairs as my reference. So right there, I would say it's pretty straight. Okay. Now, another thing that I really love about this program is the background adjustments, how you can fix the backgrounds. So back in the day, we would have to get all these stands out and then sample this white and paint it all in, sample the floor, paint it all in. But with this software, you just click up distraction removal. Ugh, but it said it ain't working today. No. Okay, let me do this. And it'll get me here. That's pretty close. I can hit no distractions. Yeah, we'll go with distractions here. So that got me, I would say, 90% of the way, and it even kept the shadows of the kids on the floor. So I'm gonna have to go in Photoshop a little bit and remove out the backs of here, but this will get me pretty close to where I wanna be with this type of image. From there, I would say I'm pretty much done with this edit. I'm gonna go ahead and click this, and I'm just gonna sync everything that I did again, because all the edits I did I liked. I do have to go back to that second image and check the cropping thing to make sure it didn't crop it crazy, which it did a little bit. So I'm gonna go back to my crop tool, and I'm just gonna make sure. Okay, perfect. They have some things on this leg right here, like these little bobos. I want to take that out. I can use this brush tool. It's like the Smart Heal tool or something, and it'll take it out just like that. So I'll click on this other one. Oh, cancel. I had to hit OK in the bottom right corner. Okay, here we go. Then I'm gonna go back to this one as well. Click that. I'll take his little bobo out, because mamas appreciate that. The little bobos, and you take them out. Good. Okay. Command minus to zoom out. And now I'm going to export both of these. So, and then I think the price that we pay is a price per image on this software. It's usually like 5 to 9 cents, 4.5 to 9 cents per image. We buy so many of them. I think we're closer to that 4.5 to 5 range, because we're typically buying several thousand at a time. So we buy in bulk, so we save. I'm gonna hit OK on this, and then I'm gonna go ahead and export out these two. And this is very similar to Lightroom or anything like that. Now what I'm gonna do is I can tell it where to put it, which is gonna just put it directly on the desktop. And then I'm checking the format to make sure it's full size, which is right. And then I'm just double check desktop, where is it gonna put it? Okay. It can create subfolders if you need a subfolder. I don't want it to change the name. I just want it to be JPEG. So I need to tell it to go change to JPEG, because I don't want to work with the RAW again, not for what I'm about to do. And then I don't need a watermark on it, but you can add your watermark if you want to add your watermark. Then I'm gonna click export. Okay, so what I noticed is a couple of guys aren't smiling in the photo. So I'm just gonna use this smile, facial expression, gentle smile. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna switch to individual mode, and I'm gonna grab Camden, and then I'm gonna just take his little smile. Oh, I lost it. Facial expression, and I'm just gonna give him just a little smile like that. And then if you zoom in, you can see his before after. Just give him a little smile, because he was not so smiley. He wasn't smiling. And then I'm gonna grab Jameson. He's looking a little tough and everybody else is smiling. I'll give him a little smile too. It's so funny how good this is. Okay. I feel like everybody else is smiling. So good. And then that's how you edit an image. So let me know if you would have done anything differently. This is how I'm doing it. It works good for us. And if it's really, really challenging, we just send it off to let a retoucher retouch it. But the simple ones we try to knock out in studio, just to make life a lot easier and make our workflow a little faster. What I did forget on this image is little buddy here on the right, number 11. Let me find him. Right here, he's looking a little dark again. I think it's just because the way we had the light position, it was a lot of fall off on this side. So I'm gonna grab him and I'm just gonna change the exposure on him just a hair. Let me make sure I'm still locked in on him. Yep, I'm just gonna give him a little boost and a little shadow bump. We'll give him a little whites. I'll go back here. And that would be, nice, too bright. Yeah, I'll go back. Just my guy right here. I'm gonna darken his brightness just a hair. Oops. Bring my highlights down just a hair and bring the whites up a little bit. Okay, good. And then this would be a finished version of this image. All right, see you in the next one. What's up, guys? Thank you so much for tuning into that last video, and we want to thank you guys for all the support you've been giving to the channel lately. It seems like every day there's new subscribers, which is super fun, and just making this content for you guys as it goes. Please continue to comment, continue to like, continue to share. I love interacting with you guys in the comments, and the more you comment, the more I respond. So can't wait to see you guys on the next one, and thanks so much for being here.